thank you all for being here. I guess I drew the short straw to replace the mayor. So, good morning, and again, thank you, media, for being here. Thank you, my fellow council members, Vice Mayor James Clendenin, Janet Miller's in their audience, Lavonta Williams, and Brian Fry. So, thank you all for being here. It's pointed out that this is the 20th consecutive mayor's news briefing that Mayor Longwell started 20 of these ago, and I think it's proven to be beneficial, the ones I've attended. And he just wanted to emphasize his thanks and appreciation to all you media that have continued to show up, and this has proven to be pretty good. So we'll continue that, and we think it helps keep the public informed as well. So moving forward, we got a couple things we want to talk about today. We got some really good news, and it's exciting news regarding our public health in our community, in our city, in our community. It's I say I've in my council experience personally, I've learned that quality of life is important, and it's these kind of things that help us the overall quality of life. So, with that being said, I'd like to introduce Miss Mim McKenzie. She's with the Health and Wellness Coalition of Wichita. They do great work, and Mim, welcome, and she's going to say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it is a great pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much. It's a very happy occasion for us because today we are proud to announce that the Kansas Public Health Association will be recognizing the City of Wichita as the 2015 Public Health Policy Maker of the Year. And I was told that this was a not so formal, so I think clapping could happen for that. So thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. So a week from today, on Thursday, September the 17th, the city will be recognized at KPHA's annual meeting in Manhattan. But then also here locally, there'll be a reception on September the 24th as well. And so the purpose of the award is to recognize local, state, or federal lawmakers who are public health champions, and we have quite a few in this room today. And so the considerations for the award include legislation sponsored or co-sponsored, leadership provided in protecting public health programs and funding, and policy initiatives to protect the public's health. The City of Wichita was selected as this year's recipient due to the large part of your commitment and dedication and demonstration of implementing planning, policies, and projects to improve conditions in the city for walking and biking. These include the creation and implementation of the Wichita Bicycle Master Plan, the Wichita Pedestrian Master Plan, the Street Design Guidelines, and the Multimodal Policy. And I just have to put in just a little plug there. This has been probably some of the fastest moving policy work because of all of the support, not only from the City of Wichita staff and our leaders, but from the community as well. And so this is a large award that not many cities our size receive. So we're very excited about that. So as I said, a lot of elected officials and staff were part of this, and it's to ensure that the built environment is developed in a way that considers biking, walking, and public transportation in all of those movements through policy programs and then also planning. The 10-year bicycle and pedestrian plans, along with routine accommodations, will ensure that Wichita progresses from knowing where we want to go to knowing how to get there. The Kansas Public Health Association Conference Awards, again, the luncheon will be held on Thursday, September the 17th from 12:15 to 2:30 in Manhattan at the Hilton Garden Inn. But then also, again, locally, we'll do a local reception over at the Chamber of Commerce at 350 West Douglas on Thursday, September the 24th from 4 to 5. But it doesn't stop there. And the local reception will be hosted by the Bike Walk Wichita, the Health Alliance, and the Health and Wellness Coalition. Mayor Longwell has graciously agreed to attend, and we'll also hopefully have a bike valet there by the Bike Walk Wichita, so that those that want to attend and bike over will be welcome to do that. We also just want to make sure that everyone knows that following that, there will be a ribbon cutting event for 1st and 2nd Street bike lanes at the Old Town Plaza. So anyone who bikes or walks to the reception are more than welcome to head over there for the ribbon cutting as well, and we encourage that. And then just want to say again, thank you so much for all the support from our city council members for this progress, and obviously the work that you've been doing is recognized and has been awarded. So thank you very much for allowing me to come to do this today.
That health thing kind of bothers me sometimes. But hey, do we do Q&A now or later? Okay, all right. Anyway, so Mim, thanks again. In a couple of comments that we have from the city's behalf, Mim referenced some, but it's worth us pointing out that it took a combination to get this award, besides the council and the staff. The Bike Walk Wichita, the Health Alliance, the Health and Wellness Coalition of Wichita, the Kansas Health Foundation, and our friends at KDOT and WAMPO, and Together Wichita, with the continued improvements on the wayfinding signage. And that's really, if you've been on the bike path up at around 96, and right now it's mainly on the east side of town, but these wayfinding signs that really neat stuff, and those were donated and made by a local company here, JR Custom Metal, and a lot of group there. So, but and a lot of Wichitans keep telling us they want to see these improvements to our streets and pathways, and I think the efforts of the council will be to support those efforts. So, again, it's a huge positive impact on the quality of life, and so with that, we'll move on to the next topic. I'm going to introduce Steve Spade with the transit. Most of you know that transit, our bus system in particular, is a challenge for us. I understand we are one of 5 cities in the top 50 that own and operate their own bus system. The other 45 are a transit authority, such as if you go to Dallas, you're in DART, Dallas Area Rapid Transit, or Atlanta, and Washington, the bigger cities. So we are burdened with being the size of a city where we need to provide a bus system, but we're doing it as a city because at this point we're really not we don't have a transit authority, a combination of people around there. So with that said, the funding has been a challenge for us, and so we are going to embark on a time where we want to listen more to the public about operational improvements. Could be anything that happens, and so with that, we're going to introduce Steve Spade to give a summary of what this is about.
Thank you. As the councilman said, we're working hard to make improvements to the system. The transit system really has 3 aspects of our mission. One of them is to provide personal mobility and access to all our residents. The second is to operate a system that's safe, dependable, and cost-effective. And then thirdly, it's important for us to be able to connect the community so that we help meet their economic development and environmental goals. So our focus is always on those 3 things. And as Councilmember Meitzner pointed out, we've had financial challenges, continue to, but we continue to focus on trying to provide the very best service that we can with the limited dollars that we've got. And we think that our efforts have been validated. We've been able to improve service on the west side with the West Side Service Improvement Program that's been operating 2 years now, and we've also seen ridership increases for 12 consecutive months. So we know that our work is starting to pay off. Several months ago, we began an initiative to take a look at our operating system to see just how well it's running. We tried to look at each route and each level of service in great detail to identify the strengths and weaknesses of each of those routes, and then recommend areas that we might improve the system. We did this for two reasons. One was to give the council a good understanding of how the system operates in case we go into a service reduction mode, but also to give the council good information on where the system is doing well and how we ought to start building the system, building a strong base to the system that as the system grows in the future we'll be able to build upon. And this process has led us to a series of service changes, route changes that are meant to improve the system, and changes in the fare structure that are meant to simplify the fare structure and help us to encourage more ridership. When we looked at our route structure, and actually I have a map up here that you can see. The route structure focuses on a couple things. First of all, it says we should focus our resources in areas where we have high ridership or potential for high ridership, and that in areas where we don't have high ridership, instead of running large buses and a bus every half hour, every hour, we ought to look at more creative ways of introducing those services. We also have streamlined our routes so that our travel time is quicker, so that the ride, if you remember, we heard stories about people taking 3 hours to get from one side of town to the other. A lot of that is because of the circuitous nature of our routes. So what we've done is tried to streamline the system so that people can get from one side of town much more quickly. And then we also have talked about the need to provide better crosstown connections. So again, this redesign of the system improves the ability for people to move around town without having to come through downtown all the time to transfer. In terms of our fare structure, we're not recommending a change in our base fare of $1.75, but we are doing a couple of things. One thing we're recommending is that we reduce the number of fare categories we have. We have like 18 different fare categories, and it takes somebody a lot of time to figure out which is the best thing for them. So we're reducing our fare categories to like 5. The other thing that we're doing is offering deep discounts on weekly and monthly passes that encourages people to buy their rides in bulk. It does two things. It gives us the revenue for the rides up front, but it also gives people the opportunity during a week or a month to take unlimited rides, so it really is a cost savings for people. These are plans that we've developed based on public input, based on our research and the work with consultants, where we are now in the phase where we're seeking public input. While you always think you've got a good plan, the way you fine-tune something is you put it out and let the public take a look at it and make comments. And what we plan to do is bring the service and fare changes to the City Council on October 20th. Between now and early October, we're making these plans available to the public so that they can provide us with feedback. Based on that feedback, then we may recommend changes in the final recommendation that comes to the council, whether it's in the fare structure or in the routes or the type of services that we're providing. It's really important to us that we hear from the public. Again, we think we've got a pretty good idea, but until we know how we're affecting people, we really don't know if we've missed some details. So the public input is really, really helpful to us as we start to make sure these plans work. We've got a number of opportunities to provide public input. First of all, we have a booklet that we're in the process that's in printing now. It'll probably be available, if not at the end of this week, by early next week, that we'll have available for the public. It actually has a page in the booklet on each route, where it operates, the level of service it provides, so the public can take a look at that in detail. And then it also has detailed information on the fare structure changes. That the information, this is also posted online. The public can go online to wichitatransit.org and pull up information on the service changes, review all that information, and then you also have the ability online to share your comments. We also have this information on large boards that is available down at the Transit Center. So anybody coming through the Transit Center or wanting to visit the Transit Center can come down there and take a look at those. And again, we have comment cards so that people can share information. We've also scheduled 2 public open houses. The first is next Thursday, September 17th, and the second would be the following Tuesday on September 22nd. Those open houses will run from 1 in the afternoon until 6:30 in the evening. The open houses will be held at our administrative offices. We'll have all of the route information up, and we'll have staff available to meet with people to explain how the routes will work, how the fares will work, and then again, we'll have public feedback cards available so that people can provide their input. This is an open house, drop-in, drop-out kind of thing, so we're hoping that people can stop by. They might want to spend 10 minutes, they might want to spend an hour, but we'll have staff there to answer all the questions. We're also visiting all of the district advisory boards over the next month. Between now and mid-October, we'll have visited each one of the board of the DABs, provided a general update to the DAB, but we'll also be there with information so that we can provide feedback to the public. And then finally, we'll have a formal public hearing in the council chambers on Tuesday, October 6th from 5:30 to 6:30. I assume that we'll have most of the public input by then. We'll have a sense of what some of our key issues that we're looking at are going to be, but this will be the opportunity that people can formally share that. And then after that public hearing, we will begin to prepare final recommendations for the City Council that, again, they would hear on October 20th. At this point, we're assuming that our proposed implementation date of the new services would be February 29th of 2016. So while it's a while off, that's going to get here very quickly. So again, our goal is to make sure that we're meeting the mobility needs of this community, helping support economic development, and we just appreciate this opportunity to share this information with the public. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Steve. February 29th, is that a leap year? Is this every 4 year change?
Once in a lifetime kind of thing. You're right.
Okay. All right. Anyway, I would encourage, and the media could help us on this. Often we've had input about the transit systems, and lots of times we get a lot of input from the actual riders. And I know in our city there's a lot of people that don't use our transit system. They may go to another city and they're making a choice about, do I use this transit system, or do I rent a car, or do I take a cab, whatever. And those people can be, they can bring good ideas. They're probably driving by one of our buses or something and probably thinking, God, if the city just did this or that. So I would like to encourage those people to weigh in with their ideas about everything. And so with that, let's go to the third thing, which is a reminder, more or less. We've done a lot about East Kellogg, and that's up there. And I've got Gary Jansen here, but I just wanted to, we're now in full swing of working on that. They did the groundbreaking. I want to thank again. I can't thank Mike King and KDOT and the Kansas Turnpike Authority for getting together. And it's going to be in 2 phases. And this project originally, the first phase on the far left was going to be about a 5-year project. Then we're going to take a year off financially, and then do the next phase, which is the middle one. That was going to be 4 or 5 years. So, and then this last board was never even on the blocks, because we were not even going to connect into the turnpike out east. But based on tremendous cooperation between our city staff and KDOT and KTA, that 10-year plan is now going to be all done within about 5 years. So we're cutting that in half, so we won't be hearing, or future council members won't be hearing, are you ever going to finish East Kellogg? Because I'll be out of here by then. But with that said, there's an important website that we've also done, East Kellogg Improvements, plural, eastkelloggimprovements.com. And our plan, it's up and running now, it's got maps, but our plan is to, and if you've seen, there's one of those message boards out there right now on all directions indicating that, and we're encouraging the businesses and citizens that use that out there they can get up to date information that we're updating it at least monthly, but it's going to be soon to be updated weekly, and it could even be daily if there's, flag people, and as we shift traffic to this and that while we're doing that. So that's going to be I would encourage the people that are driving not to get on that website while they're driving, but to do it on their, maybe before they drive. Or maybe Steve will get take a bus through there to avoid traffic. So anyway, Gary, is there something I missed on that you'd like to add? Do you have anything you want to say?
I don't. We have the message boards up now on the website on it, and
Okay.
there's a lot of good information.
Yeah. Like I said, so we're about 2 weeks into construction. A lot of this first year will be stuff on the side. Wildcat Construction is the contractor. They're using Donlinger and Corneo. So we have 3 local companies going to be employing a lot of people for 5 years and a lot of work. Wildcat, the president, Roger McClellan, mentioned that he's been sending crews to Colorado Springs and Oklahoma to do work there, and he's really happy that he's bringing those crews back to Wichita to do this project so they can still live here, be with their families, and get paid here. And so this is a nice deal on top of everything else. So again, it'll be a little troubling, but as we've said before, cones and cranes are a good sign for a community. We just went through that out at the airport where you saw a lot of cranes and cones, and now it's beautiful, and hopefully we'll have the same results there. So with that, I guess this is a question and answer time frame, period. So if there are any questions, be glad to address for Mim or Steve or myself or the council. Lily, you have any questions about how to ride that Surrey that you were riding on Monday, the Surrey bicycle? Okay. It's a bike thing. You and Mim could do that. Okay. All right. Well, if there's no questions, thank you again. Appreciate the media being here, and I know we're going to continue to do this, so appreciate it very much. So thank you.